the next corner. There may well be yellow flags telling him he cannot overtake, and that's how suddenly a gap that is relatively small at the start of the lap can grow so quickly. Ravenol Mercedes up alongside the Sport PHX Audi, and that is the 16 car of Ben Green, with Mauro Engel doing the chasing. Engel now showing as in 4th position for me, so he went round the outside of conveniently the Ravenol S, as it's called this year, in the Ravenol backed car, and Mauro Engel gets the place on the Brit. Although he didn't do it there, did he? Because still the Audi was ahead on the run down towards the left-hander on the Grand Prix circuit.
Did well to keep off each other, to be honest.
Yeah.
They could have ended up in with tears there. Mauro Engel just sort of waiting it out and forcing the issue there as they headed through into the left-right before they head down the hill towards the Goodyear curve, and by then it's the job's done. He's done the job that he's needed to. Thomas Preining, the leader, into the pits.
And this is bang on schedule. 15 laps done, so he did a 7 initially, and now an 8-lap stint.
As indeed is Verstappen, Engelhardt, and Engel right behind them. 1, 2, 3, and 4, all into the pits at the same time.
At the point they came into the pits, Verstappen had closed the gap to Preining in that last lap. He was being matched, actually. He was losing in some sectors and gaining in others, but overall, by the time they crossed the beam, the gap had gone down from about 6.5 seconds to 4.5 seconds. So it's all irrelevant as we're into the pits for a complete change. Preining out of the car. I didn't quite see whether Verstappen was getting out as well.
I don't think he did. I haven't seen. I don't think he did, actually, Joe. I think he might have stayed in the number 3 Winwood Mercedes.
All of the top runners in the pits as well, by the way. The top 7, counting down, waiting for the number 48. The 48 Losch Motorsport Porsche is the next car through. That has got Pereira at the wheel of that car in 8th place. But the first 7, that's the Manthey Porsche, the Winwood Mercedes, Franz Conrad's Lamborghini, Winwood's number 80, with Mauro Engel coming into the Sport Audi of Ben Green, Heinemann in the Falcon Porsche, and Heinrich in the Lion Speed Porsche.
Yeah, Verstappen has stayed in the, sorry, Joe. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry. Verstappen has stayed in the number 3 Winwood Mercedes. It remains to see who's jumped into the 911, because Kevin Estre started that car. Thomas Preining's just done a run, so it's either Ihankin or Matt Campbell will have jumped into the 911 Grello. Sorry, I cut across you. My apologies.
We're going to do a lot of that, Snowy. I wouldn't bother. Joe's used to it. I tend to interrupt him all the time. So if all of these cars have done 8 laps, and I reckon they have, we're looking at a 3 minutes and 17-second pit stop here. And I should be able to tell you whether most of them are there or thereabouts. I still have a bit of a concern for one of the BMWs from earlier on, the number 1 car. But I'm going to just trust that the times I'm getting might be 1 or 2 seconds out, and the BMW was, by my reckoning, 1 second short. So let's say that it's fine until we see a message that counteracts that.
Top 9 in the pits now, Johnny.
Brilliant. So Dylan Pereira's joined in the 48 Losch Motorsport car, and the latest in is the Schnitzelarm Racing car, and that is Yannis Fitcher, who shares the car with Philip Ellis and J-Mo Hartling and Kenneth Heyer. Not seen Kenneth for a good few months, actually, but he was always a guy that we would go to for the latest news in the 24H series. So Fitcher will be the last, obviously, to move away. Thomas Preining has already been sent, though, as has the chasing Mercedes, and we'll find out about driver changes.
Guven.
So Ianchen Guven, but he'll lose the lead because Christian Krognes has crossed the line after 8 laps. But remember, Stippler did a 6-lap stint to start with, so 6 and 8 took you to only 14. And that will mean that Krognes and Olsen lead the start of this lap. And here is one of 3 mighty HWA Evo Rs that might remind you of a DTM car from the early 1990s, but actually they show no relation. It's just purely been designed that way with 2026 technology.
Yeah, 21st century technology going into that car. It's a project from HWA. They're a very good-looking car and sound even better than they look, so that tells you just how great they sound. It'd be great to have even more than the 3 we've got this year, and you never know, they might be offered to customers, I think, going forward.
You're quite right that Verstappen did not get out of the number 3 car, so he is still keen for another stint of pretty much an hour.
And he got out before the 911 Manthey car as well.
Prining, let me just see whether I can tell you about the pit stops.
No, he's slightly ahead, you're right. Actually, Verstappen got out slightly later, so they're sort of coming out to the end of Hatzenbach now.
Verhagen got ahead of him as well in the number 81 BMW, the M3 Touring. He got ahead of, so Verstappen is further back than what we see on the timing screen, just moving through that area of recovery and repair going on. See how heavily damaged that barrier was on the left as well. That's going to take a while.
We needed 3 minutes 17 pit stops. Guven's was 3:18. Verstappen's was 3:19. So there's actually about a second loss there between the two. And I think that'll close up in no time whatsoever. And Pavel Lefterov has taken over the number 7 Conrad Lamborghini. He was more like a 3 minutes 20, so dropped about 3 seconds from the optimum time in the pit stop. You never know what's going on around these cars, though, in terms of how quickly the work can commence, in what angle the car is in as well, because it goes up on the dolly jacks and often wheeled into a 45-degree angle. Yeah, that's a little bit of just give and take that we're going to see all the way through this race. 21 hours and 43 minutes still to go.
Through that slow zone there, while that repair job is being done, the 60-kilometre-an-hour board, the purple board being shown, the drivers have to adhere to the speed limit through this section of track there. The Verhagen BMW M3 Touring, that's the job that's ensuing there. We have the kind of this rolling road affair on the 25-kilometre course here at the Nürburgring, and repairs to the barrier. Very efficient, I've got to say, with a lot of experience of that very thing here at the Nürburgring. Once you clear that area, you then get the green flag. You can then accelerate up to racing speed. And at the moment, we've got another slow zone, I believe, around by Plantsgarten. I'll just confirm that, actually, while you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, those three there. So you got Guven in the Manthey Porsche, and then Neil Verhagen in the M3 Touring, and Verstappen in the Winward racing car. There's only about 5 or 6 car lengths between them as they went through that slow zone, where that Audi had gone off quite some time ago now that we mentioned the first of our slow zones. It did all the barrier damage on the right-hand side. The Ferrari, of course, had done the damage on the left-hand side of the barrier onto the Hatzenbach, and that's going to take even longer to repair. So those code 6s are going to affect, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a majority of this stint, to be honest, Johnny.
Decisions, really quick decisions, having to be made virtually around every other corner for Max Verstappen and everybody else in this race. Finding traffic, then working out whether you can go off the racing line and not lose too much time, or do you need to be patient, because catching slower runners into corners like Tiergarten and also obviously the carousel, sometimes you just got to be patient and sit behind them and wait for a better opportunity. But Verstappen is catching Neil Verhagen up ahead in the red, white and black M3 Touring. They go the high side of one of the maybe Müllner Motorsport prepared cars. Yeah. It was certainly that sort of livery, approaching Bergwerk. And now Aston Martin number 34, which, remember, cut short one of its pit stops when Niki Team only did a 7-lap stint when there was code 60 out on the track at Schwedenkreuz, and the 34 car of Christian Krognes leads by not very much at all over Dennis Olsen's Ford.
Aston Martin, Ford, we wait for the rest of the Guven is showing on his outlap. He'll come through in the number 911, the Porsche, the Manthey car that came into the pits from the lead of this race, as Dennis Olsen chases the Volcanos Motorsport Aston here. We've got a race there. Cars right on the edge of adhesion there, up towards the carousel, the infamous carousel, the iconic part of the track here through the right-hander. And does that track look damp to you guys? I mean, there is some light rain that is forecast here.
Well, it's due about now, and when it does start, according to my forecast, which doesn't mean to say it's going to happen, but the app I'm using, it does suggest the rain is about to start soon, and if it is, it's going to continue quite heavily until around about midnight, 1 o'clock, maybe a little bit earlier. But what a mixture at the front there, the manufacturers. Aston Martin leads Ford from BMW, sorry, from Porsche, then BMW, then Mercedes, then Lamborghini in the top 6. Huge variety, all different makes. Fantastic to see the very, very early stages. This just goes to show how it can literally ebb and flow.
Just goes to show how clever the GT3 organisers are.
Yeah, and the boss, how it all works.
In matching the performance of these manufacturers, bringing all the manufacturers, giving them the opportunity to race here in this iconic race. It is special, this race, isn't it?
Oh, hugely. I would say it's
like
potentially the most special. It is.
Well, it is. It's a kind of
that's it. We're childish schoolboy every time.
And we've been away for 10 months.
Yeah,
exactly. And you come back and you go, this is off the charts.
But you have to recalibrate your mind. You come here from a conventional track like, you know, Spa or 90 seconds or something, or 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes is a long lap. What's a lap at Spa in a GT3, Snowy?
Around about these days 2:20s.
There you go.
Yeah.
25 kilometres around here. You have to absolutely. There are some sectors on this lap that are longer than that Spa lap time. So that's what I mean about recalibrating your mind to take in the challenge of this event.
Oh, he's got the jump.
Oh,
Dennis
yes.
Olsen got the jump on the Aston Martin of Christian Krognes, who either didn't see the green flag waving or he couldn't jink left quick enough. And Dennis Olsen in that chasing 67 Ford Mustang takes the race lead as a result. So he's heading up towards, out of Stefan Beloff S, which I knew was affected by yellow, but he's not going to be that long before the yellow flags are shown again at Galgenkopf. And the first bit of the Dottinger Höhe and the Aston Martin number 34 is not that far away for Norwegian racer Krognes.
I wish we had access to the car to pit radio at Valkenhorst right now, because Krognes will be having something to say about that. He was unbelievably caught napping for that. I've never seen anything quite like that, but he's on the hunt now, but he will be absolutely fuming.
What would he be fuming
Dennis
about?
Olsen in the HRT4 just jumped straight past.
What's he going to be fuming about, though? It's his job. It's his job
I know,
to see the green
at himself as a driver.
I see what you mean.
He'll be fuming at himself, just going, why have I let that happen? I've just got the lead of the N24 hour. Bradley said it's the most amazing race, and I've just thrown away the lead.
I thought you meant he was going to be on his radio blaming someone.
No, himself.
A spotter. He's the best. He's the best spotter, actually.
Jill, no.
I'm a bit concerned about two cars that are off. I'm always concerned about cars that are off, but one looks sort of SP9 shaped, and maybe both of them do, but this is a long way away, so...
it's got a tailgate. I mean, it's.
I think that's the front, but I'm concerned.
I'm not sure it's at the front or the back that's up. It's not exactly as it's shaped as it left in the factory, is it?
Agreed. Anyway, an update to come on that, but. Meantime, Ayanchen Guven, running third on the road, has now hear word that it was raining at Brunchen, but I would suggest that grip levels aren't great coming out of Hohenrhein either, and back onto the Grand Prix.
And they will start to cool down a little bit if there's much water on the track, but it'll take a little while yet. They're right up to temperature now. Verstappen caught up behind one of the Audis as it goes up into down to the hairpin at the bottom end. We've got the 821 Audi to spin at, is that Hatzenbach? That's Matt Hilder in the 821 Audi, just doing a 3-point turn and rejoining.
Does look a lot like Hatzenbach, and actually the tyre wall that yesterday Thomas Neubauer got very, very close to during his qualification lap. That Ferrari, sadly for Real Eyes now, looking like it's out of the race, but thankfully 821 spinning out of the path of anybody else wanting to go through on the racing line, and Heidler did a good job there.
Definite rain on the Grand Prix part of the Grand Prix circuit part of this track,
and increasing
to see. But also, gentlemen, information coming through that pass was under yellow. What we witnessed there, the
pass
when we went green, it was still under a waved yellow.
Pass for whom?
Dennis Olsen getting ahead of Christian Krognes.
Yes,
so the yellows were still there, you reckon?
Well, I'm getting messages here to say that was under a waved yellow. There was still a waved yellow flag.
Well,
it did. My sense was it seemed very surprising that how he just jumped him. But and now we've got 577 off into the gravel. That's at the, is that the Schumacher S?
The Vidal chicane,
now, my apologies.
And that is the Asbest Racing Cupra Leon competition, and Dennis Leising driving 577. A moment or two ago then. I know, I think you're right, Snowy, that is the Michael Schumacher S. So it looked like the Vidal chicane from a much lower angle, but it's the next couple of corners out of the Goodyear carer. You've raced here before, I can tell.
Dacia Logan's off as well. It says everything about these conditions, as you said, Johnny. It's going to start catching people out. Slick racing tyres on a dry track, they're red hot, yes, but that suddenly changes so quickly as Verstappen and Olsen go past the Dacia Logan at Hatzenbach, which is on the grass facing the wrong way at the moment.
I hope the Logan is still intact. It's going to mount the curb, it's going to spin on the grass, but yes, it's still straight. And that is great news for so many people that have come here supporting the 300 car of Oliver Creaser and Christian Geilfuss, Robert Neumann and Alexander Becker in their SP3T car. Problem is, it may have stalled. It may have absolutely no traction now on the inside of that corner. But the marshals under yellow flags and potentially a code 60 will help it back on its merry way. So Verstappen, oh yes, see, I thought it might be an Audi. I actually almost said, is it the 16? That was the front of the car that I could see from a distance. Problem is, for Audi fans, there's only one car in the race. Well, I mean, I suppose with the exception of the 75 that's already had a big damage.
Sorry.
Sims then.
Sims redoing his seat.
Exactly, I was
think
he's
been out of the car.
He has,
that's what Johnny said.
Right,
yeah, you'd have to check it.
And he's pulled that bonnet up over his windscreen so that he can see to get the car back. He's
well, it just came up in the air, just came over there, but
it was down.
Obviously,
but
he's got back in the car and put the belts back on. You've got to retighten them, because if you're not, you can have a penalty and even be disqualified. And we saw not having your belts tightened, exactly, because he's now back on the racetrack.
We saw clearly he did that as well. He did.
Shaped, almost providing the perfect visibility, even when the bonnet is flicked across the screen. Alex isn't even having to duck down at all. He can perfectly see where he's going. The problem is not all four wheels are pointing in the same direction.
Now, Snowy, you've driven racing cars that you've hurt like that, and when you are from the perspective of Alex Sims, how much can he feel? I mean, obviously he knows the car's damaged, being out of the car. He knows he's got a front suspension on the right-hand corner that is not where it should be. And
the restart there that happened for Christian Groves and Dennis Olsen, they swapped over, didn't they? So he's just done exactly the same. So I'm not sure. I hope that was after the yellow and got the green flag. I'm sure he had. But back to the point, it is, you've got to bring it back as slowly as possible. You can feel all sorts. In that case, Alexander Sims' front right wheel is pointing far too much toe out, not very healthy for it, but you don't want to make it any worse. So, as you said many a time, Joe, that racing drivers aren't taught to drive slowly, and what feels excruciatingly slow to you can still be too fast for more damage.
Yeah, and
you can actually create a bigger problem trying to get it back at speed.
Well, when you've been going around this track at 160 miles an hour, and especially at the part of the track that he's on now, he's down Dottingham Straight.
He's nearly done it.
He's usually doing 170 miles an hour here, so just knowing. I mean,
but that wheel's also stationary, Joe. Look, it's
the right-hand wheel. Yeah, I was about to say the right-hand wheel is locked by whatever the suspension part that has become rearranged in there. So that's probably going to be more beneficial than having it flailing around. He's still pushing on. He's almost there. He's got to go through this left-hand and right-hand sweep here at Tiergarten. He then goes into the final section of the Hohenrhein chicane, and then from there he can pretty much peel off to the right. With the rain, the light rain, certainly wetting the track there, we can clearly see the track becoming damp and almost bordering on becoming wet here. We haven't seen any spray coming from the rear of these cars yet, but this is the point where Alex Sims can just point the car towards the pit road, and he's made it back in a sterling effort. I think a round of applause there for getting that car back to the pit lane after a brilliant job, and not causing any more damage than he's already caused, I would think.
Did BID the other car involved in that?
No, is the quick answer to that one.
Okay.
What is interesting is the damage on the right-hand side, that right-hand wheel, and so we can see with the bonnet completely exposed now, we can see all the suspension exposed. The split is all intact, so it would suggest that he's lost it, gone off and hit the barrier with the wheel, which has done the damage to the suspension, as opposed to massive bodywork damage we saw to the Ferrari. So mechanics inspecting it straight away, and that car's going to be, I'm convinced, to be rotated into the box, ready for some extensive repairs.
Questions coming in at RSL_studio. Hello, if you're just joining us, live and free across the world. No subscriptions required on the Nürburgring 24-hour official YouTube channel. Good to have your company on a busy motorsport weekend, but the Nürburgring taking centre stage as it often does. If you're travelling, you can flick over to RS1, part of the radio show network, or if your bandwidth compromised, or sitting in your car. We don't want you watching pictures when you're sitting in the car. So audio available as ever via the player at radio-show.co.uk. Now let's see if we can work out what has happened to, well, that's a completely different incident that's going on with one of the BMW Z4s. They've both been in trouble now. Then that's the stride check car again. With the foxtail on, so that makes it the number 40 machine. This is a 2013 vintage machine, and Joe Bradley has been doing some, well, of course he's been doing some investigating. The other car involved in the Alexander Sims Audi incident, Joseph?
Well, I've made some inquiries, and I've been given information from a good source, Johannes Godlicka on the collective. According to the ticker, it's the number 47, which is of course the KCMG entry, the Mercedes.
Two SP9 cars.
Yes, so two of them in hitting GT3 cars, and this car, the KCMG, it's the blue and white car, the number 47. It promised so much coming into this weekend, didn't it? So that is the other car we believe involved with this one here, the number 16 Audi. Now made it back to the pits, the team able to assess exactly what the damages need, what the damage is done in need to repair it, what component parts they need to replace.
There are some teams coming in for rain tyres now. Let me get this done. Open tyre competition we've mentioned. Most of the tyre manufacturers have at least a couple of straight slick tyres, so completely smooth slick tyres. Some of them have three. Then there's a cut slick that could be used as an intermediate, and a wet weather, single wet weather tyre. This is an SP9. Hello to Obviously, who says, I'm watching from the UK. First 24 as the Nürburgring. I thought it was going to be boring, but every time I say I'll go and grab some lunch, somebody else has been overtaken. Something else is happening. It's insane.
John, did you just say there was teams considering wet tyres?
Teams have gone out on wet tyres.
Well, there's a lot of very, very dry racetrack out there that's going to destroy those treads.
Including the teammate of that BMW that's just spin, the 36, the Valkenhorst BMW. Has just got rain tyres. Let me see. The Cayman further down the field, the number 171, has got rain tyres on it as well. The rest of the track, I think, is very, very wet. We've got sunshine back here. This is what we've seen all week, Snowy.
But it moves across. We're sitting
exactly.
Commentator was looking over the pit straight now. That I said it wasn't raining. Then I saw, looked at it. It was drizzling. It's caught a few people out. It moved over across hats and back, caught a few people out. I'm just going to say, John, looking at the body language of the technicians, mechanics working on number 16 Shearer Sport Audi, I think that car's out of the race. I'm suspecting there's too much structural damage to the frame of that car that they will have been sheared. They have all the bits to put onto it, but you can't attach them to stuff that's already bent.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, Peter. It's Peter Snowden, that was his voice. Joe Bradley and John Hindhoff in the Global Broadcast Centre. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world, and particularly if you're in the US and joining us on our live free audio stream, radio-show.co.uk, and it's RS1. Just press. It's exactly the same audio. Another year where we've been the official audio provider. Battle in the SP9 category, and down the Dottinger Ho, which is still wet, and even though it's a straight, so it's not done yet. It's the number 1 BMW, last year's champion. He's having a go. Jordan Pepper is behind the wheel as they go under the little kink under the bridge at the Bilstein Bridge. And I'll be honest with you, I still don't know if he got that done there.
Yeah, he did. I think it was because it was the Mustang he was up against?
I think so.
He then got the draft off the car in front as well. So Jordan Pepper got the side draft in the Rover Racing BMW from the Mustang, but the Mustang then got a draft from the car in front that Jordan was having to break.
Actually, that was the Winwood car. It was the
Winwood car was ahead of it.
Yeah,
they'd been swapping the Mustang.
Okay.
I'll tell
So
you what,
that was Arjun Miney then who'd come from behind them. Right, OK,
Yes.
that makes more sense. It's not how they went across the line. It was Winwood Rover Racing in HRT. A lot can happen in 15-odd miles around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So that was the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th that we were watching. 2 pit stops for everybody at the front of the field. And dry again and sunny again as Maxime Martin dives down into the foxhole with still 21 and a half hours to go. 21 hours, 22 minutes and 30 seconds counting down. And hearing that there's an issue. Oh, I know what I've done wrong. For one of the Hyundais, I'll get back to that in a moment as well. Jordan Pepper having cleared one of the HWA 190 alikes is now in a bit of clear air. I think it's fair to say, gentlemen, that it has been a fairly eventful start. Oh, we've got a slow Aston Martin now. That's one of the... Is that an SP8 car? Left rear puncture. Yeah. Just going down into Brunchen, just over the top of the rise. Left-hander coming next, and then down the double right at Brunchen. And we've not done our class leaders yet in the race. We'll do that in a minute because there's been one or two things. The Manuel Lauch Elantra N1 RP, the 302 car, 45-second penalty for speed limits. Also, the 991 Cup car of the Ertel and Bendorf. They are also getting a penalty, 45 seconds. That's a long way back for that Aston to come through. Actually, that's an SP9 car. That is an SP9 car that's coming through. Jimmy Broadbent behind the wheel of the Black Falcon 632, running in AT2 alternative fuel. Round about 400 and a bit horsepower. Oh, just getting off the ground there. This is the number 632 GT3 Cup car coming down through the Stefan Beloff S's and across the road. We've got to break away from the action for just a minute.
I think it's the Pro Sport Racing Aston from SP9, which is the number 37 car.
You're right. Yeah, SP9. You're right. I thought it was an SP8 or 10 because I thought it had a smaller wing, but I was being tricked by how far the wheel was sticking out. Adam Christodoulou has joined us. Push the big red button at the top, Adam. That one there. How you doing, mate? Did you enjoy that? You were having a bit of fun there, weren't you?
Yeah, I had a great time. Yeah, like doing the start is always a privilege to do that here. And the initial launch wasn't great, but everyone kind of like bottlenecked towards the inside of turn 1. So I just sent it around the outside and picked off 3-4 cars then, and then just chipped away and had a great battle. And then we pitted a fraction early just to stay with the lead pack because the start was quite chaotic and we were overtaking cars on lap 2. It was unreal.
Standard.
The amount of cars. I don't think I've ever overtaken so many cars on lap 2 during any race here.
So there's 20-odd cars more than normal.
Yeah.
Because went down, I think, to 140. It was going to be 150 this year. It's gone to 161. Could honestly feel a difference there, or it's just that there was more of the other class of cars, do you think?
I think what it was is maybe there was a slightly delayed start for them, so we just seemed to catch them up
quicker.
Yeah, we just caught them up sooner, but it was like intense. Like everyone was together, and like the train going through the traffic, you had to really be on your toes. And so, but when I first raced here, in my first 24 in 2011, this is my 16th one now.
Never in the world.
There was over 200 cars that started back then.
Yeah.
And I remember
229. Our first one was 2000 and got married in 2006. So it was 2007. It was the weekend of my wedding anniversary in 2007, which is easy to remember. And there was 229 started.
Wow. Yeah.
And then they got rid of the smaller engine cars, of course, up to 1600s.
Lightweight, all of it.
I know. When did you first come in here, Peter?
Yeah.
18.
No. Oh,
You was here 1927, raced the first.
Haven't even been formally introduced yet. I think it was 240. I think took place. And it was bizarre because you'd go around and they had reserves.
Yes, correct.
Which you were allowed to take the start, and if cars broke down or had problems or issues on the formation lap, you got to what's now the Sabine Schmitz curve, and the marshals basically went left or right.
No
and
way.
You either went back and went home, and that was the end of your weekend.
So you went hard right the wrong way down the old pit lane?
No. So you got to that point, and basically you were directed back into pit saying, no, you're not taking part in the race.
Right.
All that tension and build-up. Or you go, now go on, you can have a go, mate. And it was like Monty Python. It was just unbelievable.
In 2012, we had a puncture and it blew the driver's door off. And we came in the pits and we repaired the puncture and the radiator. And this was actually with Pro Sport at the time. I remember Chris coming to me and going, the other guys don't want to do it, but we don't have a door. Do you want to go and do a lap? And I did a lap and I came in. I was like, you need to drill some holes in the back of the window of this thing because like the buffering was really bad.
Oh,
exactly. So they did that, and I went out the pits. And they're like, how is it? I was like, loads better. And they're like, okay, cool. Go and do a lap. So I did a lap. Yeah. And they're like, how was it?
So that was around the Grand Prix track.
Well, I did a Grand Prix to start with and came straight back in. I was like, look, we need to do something with the window. And then went on to the Nordschleife after that, and they were like, how was it? I was like, yeah, good. And they're like, okay, cool. We'll see you in 6 laps. And so I did a whole stint with no driver door.
And they didn't black flag you?
No, like in my head, I remember driving and I wanted to stick my arm out like every time I went past the car to like wave at it just because
As it would have spooked
don't draw any attention to us.
Right.
Not realising like the helicopter was following us for like 30 minutes because you could see my elbow and everything.
What was the car then?
It was in a Porsche. It was a Porsche GT4 back then. This was before the Cayman, so it was a detuned cup car.
Yeah. You've had a few interesting moments out here. Just watching
one about to happen.
Max Verstappen, and he's right in behind Dennis Olsen in the Bundeswehr camouflage number 67. So that is the battle for second and third, and Olsen's got ahead of Verstappen there. So that is a change of position from the last time around. The Valkenhorst Aston Martin Vantage still leading by about a second up the road in traffic now as they come to the slow zone. Didn't you once have to bring a wheel back in the car? that was halfway around, wasn't it? Have I remembered that correctly?
This was 2015. This was my first year having the opportunity to like fight for an overall win here. We were in third, and we went into a slow zone, and the car in front slowed down. The 2 cars in front slowed down. I went to slow down, and the car behind just went straight into the back of me. And so it was fine for 2 laps. And as I was climbing the uphill section, Kesselken, then this vibration suddenly got really bad, and the wheel went past.
Never a good day when 2 bits of the car are doing different lap times. Let's watch this traffic at the moment as this battle's going through first, second and third in amongst the 2013 vintage Z4, heading up the hill now at the early part of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So it's Dennis Olsen in second, third is Max Verstappen, and who's in the Valkenhorst car? It is... Why couldn't I say that on the screen?
Jesse Krohns.
Oh, Jesse Krohns, yeah. Krohns in that car, up through the foxhole. Adam Christodoulou with us out of the